Hey everyone, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be talking about services. Then we're going to talk about how to start them, stop them, and enable them. And enabling just means making sure that they start at boot. And so, as always, I'm going to be referencing my webpage here that goes along with the video. And so, the first thing is that we have to understand for services is system D or system daemon. And we can actually see that one by going here to top, and we can actually see that that is process one, right? And so system D is responsible for starting up the rest of the system. So it's the first process, and then everything branches out from that first process. And then so you can imagine it kind of like a river. It just starts at the top and then it trickles all out, and so we can see all the other services kind of that go behind it as well. Okay, so yeah, first process, and it manages all the other services and processes that we need to have for a working system. Now, there's many components under it, and those components are managed using units, right? And so units, they are the files that are the configuration piece, also service piece of that software. And we have many different types. So for example, we can do system CTL -T help like this. And then what this will do, let me just clear this up real quick. And what this will do is that we can see the available unit types here. Right, so the ones that we're going to focus on today are going to be service. Okay, and then so let's scroll down. Okay, so as you can see, I already used system CTL here, and that's going to be our main way of controlling the system or system D. Okay, and so the first thing we can do here is we can just go here like this, and then we can do man. And then control the system D system and service provider. All right, so as you can see here, control the state of system D system and service manager. Okay, and then here we go. We got a man page that we can reference here, so we can reference that one. Let's do that. I didn't do this earlier, so we can go system D. Oh, we got to do man one system D. Okay, so here we go. System D system service manager. System service manager for Linux operating system. Yep, as you can see, number one acts as an init system, brings up and maintains user space services. Okay, so perfect. That's exactly what we talked about. So now the main thing is, like, let's say for example we need to find what we need in regards to services, right? So let's see. So what we can do is here we can see the type of services or and their related unit file. So we can go system unit like this, and you can always tab it out, right? So we can do unit files like this, and then what we're going to do here is type, right? And then it's going to be service like this. Okay, and then we can list all of our services, and we can also see their state, right, as well. So we can scroll up a little bit, we can see their state and then preset. Okay, and so we can scroll down, we can see a bunch of stuff, even cron D here enabled, you can see that. Another one, firewall D, we talked about that, so you can see that one's enabled. Let's see another popular one. Oh yeah, network manager stuff is super important. What else? Another popular one is going to be, yeah, like SSHD. You can see that one right there. So we're going to be working with today. Yeah, it's important because that's how we get to our systems remotely. Okay, and then we can scroll there. And then, so that's how we find our service or the unit type to just make sure it's even there. Okay. Now we can check the status of a service. So all we have to do is system CTL or system CTL, right? And all we have to do is STUS like this. And we can do, let's do SSHD. That's the one we're going to be working on today. And again, you can tab it out. So you can do like S, right? And then that's a lot of possibilities. We're going to do no there. And we can do SSH, right? And a tab there for us. And then we can see here. So we can kind of clear that up. There, like that. We can see that. And then all we want is the dot service. So we just go dot service. And we can see the status here. So when we look at the status, we could even see, right, listening on port 22, you see there, like that. And then so that's good. And we can see here also one of the main important things is here enabled, preset is enabled. We can see it's active and running. So what this means is that we can SSH into this box, okay? Because it's listening on port 22 right there, okay? And so that's important. And then so if we want to, let's say for example, we want to go back and let's stop it. So we can stop it, right? And then go back. And we can say, you see how this changes now to inactive, dead, and yep, inactive, dead, and we could even see it here, stopped. Yep, signal 15, yep. And then, yep, we see deactivated successfully, stop server daemon, okay? So that's good. And so now we can clear that up. And then if we wanted to start it back up, we just hit start. And then we can go back to status and then started, starting, started. And then we can even see the PID, we can see active and running, right, since 11:41, so we can see the time there, okay? Now, one of the things, right, that we can do is enable it, right, so that it restarts. So we can do, first we can do disable. So we remove the symlink, right, because that symlink is connected to, what we'll talk about later is called multi-user target. And so what this means, it creates a symlink to this target. So when you boot into this target, it wants, right, I just using what I see, wants SSHD service to start with it, okay? But we've removed that. So for example, now if I reboot, or even if we can check the status as well. So now you can see here it's disabled. And then we can even reboot the system, and I'll come back when it reboots all the way. So we're back. I'm logging back in. Let's pull up that terminal. Clear this out. And then let's check on, let's switch back to root here. And let's check that status. Okay, so as you can see, it did not restart. So it did not start again. It stayed, now it's inactive and dead, okay? So now what we wanna do is just enable it like this. And it creates that symlink now. We talked about symlinks, okay? And so there we go. It's connected now to that service. And we should now, but enable, so something I want you to know is that just enabling it does not turn it back on, okay? Does not turn it back on. So you have to start like this, okay? And then now it's back on. Okay, 2 seconds ago. Okay, so enabling does not start it. That's something important. And now, so now if we reboot the system, it'll stay on and it'll start with the system. Okay, because now it's enabled. Now, if we wanted to edit a service, right, we would just have to go here and just go edit like this. Okay. And here you can edit the system. There are a bunch of different, what's the word I'm looking for? There are a bunch of different lines or types of lines that you can address here. So like this kill mode, process, restart. And the way you find that out, oh, this is nano, by the way. But you can control X like this, and you just hit no. The way you can see those different type of options is you can go show, right? And then these are all the options you can use. So you can set up a timeout for startup, for stop, like that way it kind of waits for whatever reason. And then yeah, restart on failure. If it fails, you can restart it. And again, these are a bunch of lines that are options in the, if you wanted to edit it, okay? So there, bunch of different options. Yep. Yeah, so if you needed something in particular, you can also grep this. You can grep this and just to figure it out. So for example, like look at this one, the kill, when we killed it last time, that's the kill signal that it sent. Yep, wanted by. Yeah, there's a lot of different options for SSH, which is important because SSH is a very foundational type of tooling. Okay. So that was pretty much it with this as far as like starting, stopping, and enabling services. There are a number of other things you can do with services. You can even create your own .service file and get that booted at or get that to be enabled and start at boot. There's also ways, again, like you can change like the port that something is using, for example, like SSH, but usually we don't change those common ports like that for SSH, especially in an enterprise environment. Even in my day job, we SSH into devices that we support all the time, and then so yeah, it's important not to change that because that's something common, that's normal technology that's used on a daily basis. So you can change it, but it's recommended that it's not because it's just a common thing. And then that's it. So I hope if there's anything else that comes up or something that I see or read about, I'll add it to the webpage and we'll go from there. Thank you so much.